Here we go!
You're listening to the video game show on URN.
Hello, it is Saturday, it's 2 o'clock, and it is the video game show on URN. I am your host for the week, Mark. Our regular host, I want to say regular host, he's done 2 shows, this is my 3rd, so actually I'm going to say, I'm your regular host now. Henry, this other guy who's sometimes here, isn't here at the moment. I'm here with the illest master of ceremony, Jack. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a quiet week, but I'm sure we have plenty to talk about today.
Yeah, it has been a quiet week. I'm here with the best from the West, because he hails from Wales. Dylan, what's going on?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, actually, thanks. Yeah, it's been, like I said, not much is going on this week, but we've got things to talk about, and we've got a new special guest. He is everyone's favourite co-op partner from Gears of War. It's Dom.
Oh, it's lovely to be here.
Excellent. Dom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. It's nice to be on the gaming show, even though I'm not a massive gamer, so hopefully I can learn a bit of stuff.
Well, we've got some things to talk about that, even though you're not a massive gamer, I think you might be able to throw in your knowledge, because Lord knows we won't be able to, because we haven't done it. So, so this week, like I said, not much is really going on in the news. So before we get into news, because there's only a quick couple of stories, what's everyone been playing? Like, we don't get a chance in this show very often just to talk about the stuff we're playing that isn't new, or, you know, it's always about something recent.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Witcher 3. I still haven't finished that game.
I mean, it's a brilliant game, and it's
Yeah, it's
something
well
that
good.
can keep you entertained for over 100, at least. Over
I'm at
100
like
hours.
140 hours,
Yeah.
and I'm nowhere near.
I mean, every time I play it at this point, I'm like, I think I've said before, I just go to Gwent.
Yeah.
I've put so many hours into just playing Gwent in that game. I've still got so much of the story left,
I recently actually completed my entire Gwent set. I got that achievement.
which is insane.
Yeah, it's took me far more time and effort than I care to put in, but it means that I now wreck up Gwent battles.
Can you
'cause
now play a full spy deck? Because that's all I want in life.
No, because they split the spies amongst. So Witcher 3. Let's talk about Witcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because if we're going to talk about what the Witcher
Yeah,
3
we've
is.
got Dom in here.
I was just can you educate
Dom.
a new
The
person
Witcher
to
3
this?
is a open world RPG. It's set in an epic fantasy environment. So there's dwarves and elves and all sorts. It came out March 2015.
Yeah.
And it is huge. It's a monstrous game with a lot of gameplay in it. I think I started from memory of where my first save file was. It's like August the 15th, 2015. I started The Witcher 3, and I'm still trying to play it in fits and starts. But it's a wicked game. If you're into big RPGs, sort of your Skyrim style thing, it's well worth having a look at.
Well, it's expansive and you can explore.
It's
Just
huge.
get lost in it, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so much stuff to do in it. You know, you can be walking around and stumble upon whole fascinating quest lines just by accident. Just
Like
go to
finding
a village.
frying pans. Best one in the game. Finding that frying pan. You
What's
know
the
one?
frying pan one?
Have you not done it?
Well, I don't know, because bearing in mind there's 100 hours of game that I played a year ago.
Yeah. Well, so you're walking around and you come across to just a shack in the middle of nowhere, and this old lady's outside,
Oh,
and she's like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
my house," and you have to
I've done that one, yeah.
break in, and I think it's been robbed, or again, I've played this a long time ago. I think it got robbed or it burnt down or something. You
Yeah.
go in, you have to find her treasured frying pan,
Yeah.
and then you have to dive down to the
yeah.
bottom of the nearby lake to find this frying pan. It's just that's an
it's
entire
such a-
quest.
such a bizarre side
I remember
quest.
going into a burnt out house looking for something for an old lady. So maybe I did do that. It's been so
Because there's
long.
2 frying pans. That's the twist of the. You find one, and she's like, "Nah, that's not my frying pan," and you have to find a second frying pan, which is frankly preposterous for a game.
2 frying pans is too many frying pans, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I did a quest only last week where a nice halfling gentleman, they're like sort of gnome analogue, he asked me to go and find his mate, and so I went out to where his mate would be, and I found blood everywhere, and so I followed the blood trail, and I found this village that was completely abandoned apart from some old people, an old couple, and I spoke to them, and they said, yeah, I don't know where he is, but if you keep sniffing around, well, yeah, if you keep sniffing around, you can find him, but things get pretty dark.
As is the way
Yeah,
with Witcher, isn't
yeah,
it?
it gets pretty good. I don't really want to spoil it because it's a good twist, but Yeah, there's a lot of content in that game, and a lot of really interesting stories it tells, almost by accident. You just sort of stumble across them. It doesn't. A lot of its best content isn't even in the main quest. The main quest isn't as even that interesting, really. It's
more. It provides their environment for the rest of them, really, doesn't it?
But it's
a
wicked game.
I just want to point out, this is not video game knowledge, but it's still gaming knowledge, I guess. You say the halfling is the analog for gnome in this game.
Yeah.
I think gnomes and halflings are actually different things in like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and stuff.
So you
don't want to upset the non-video gamers.
Are you calling me a racist?
Basically.
You calling me?
This is more speciesist than anything, surely. But yeah,
I don't know how interspecies politics works. That's not me. Jack, have you been playing anything worth talking about?
Well, I've been playing games, but I haven't really played anything new. Partly because I don't have any money to go out and buy any new games. I mean, yes,
I got a hot Call of Duty code here for you on this can of Monster. If you want it, you want double XP for a weekend, I can hook you up.
See, the funny thing is with that is I know now that I think pretty regularly every weekend they're doing it anyway because not enough people are playing it. Simply because not a lot of people are playing Infinite Warfare. So they're just saying, you know what, we'll put on double weapon XP, double XP for your leveling up just every weekend to try and get more people in.
Surely at that point that's just normal XP.
Yeah.
During the week you're on half XP.
Yeah, but
Killer.
this is it.
I wouldn't want to win a half XP. It's all marketing, isn't it?
I haven't really been playing it that much. I've played a bit more NBA. It's a bit weird in the NBA game because you sort of have your girlfriend from high school. And she's with you for the majority of the your first season with your rookie team.
It's weird that you've got a girlfriend in a sports game.
What it is it's weird because I got to the point now, and I don't know if this will be spoilers because I'm not sure how far people are playing it, but you get to a point just before the All-Star weekend, and your girlfriend comes over to you, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm having to. I'm going to transfer to like a different university or whatever." And you're like, oh, "Okay, whatever." And then it's like it's upsetting.
That seems
so
fair.
you're like, "Oh, how can she do this to me?" But and then she leaves your little training.
You're better than her, man. You don't need her.
She leaves the training facility, and I'm there like clutching at heartstrings, being like, "Oh my gosh, she's broken up with me." And then your character in game goes away and celebrates, and I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" So that's threw me off a bit.
She was holding you back, man.
I mean, yeah, sure.
She was holding you back.
She might have been, but yeah, I mean, apart from that, I haven't really been playing.
She's gonna go like start dating Shaquille O'Neal. Like that's my knowledge of basketball players. It comes down to Shaquille O'Neal, and that's about it. And is it Steph Curry?
Yeah,
he's recent, isn't he? People like him. Yeah. So I don't know. But anybody been playing anything else?
I got So
I think the next thing that Dom's going to talk about, he's been playing, is going to be that's going to be a big chunk of thing. So
yeah, that's what I was holding off.
Yeah, let's get all of our stuff out of the way. So yeah, Dylan, what have you been playing? Anything good?
So I think we mentioned it before last week. The games with gold this month are one of them is Murdered Soul Suspect, which is
Trilby Extravaganza.
Exactly. So this is a game I've always been intrigued by, and I'll explain what it is in a minute. But I've always seen it, and that seems kind of interesting. But always 20 quid was a bit too much. I've said this to Jack before. 20 quid's just a tiny bit too much for this game. But Xbox have answered our prayers and given us the free version.
Excellent.
And it's
good old Xbox.
It's a detective game, but at the beginning you die.
Yeah.
So you're
spoilers.
Throughout the entirety of the game, you're ghost trying to find out
your
who
ghost.
killed you.
Literally, the first thing you see is yourself falling out a window.
So the big pun in the title is it's murdered, soul suspect, but it's not soul as in individual, it's soul as in like...
Your soul, yeah.
Soul as in,
soul as in
your,
soul.
your essence. Yeah, I'm gesticulating here, which only these three people understand.
But yeah, it's...
You wear a trilby in that game?
Constantly, you can't... I don't think
it's
you
a
can...
hell of a trilby.
So far, from what I've played, we've not taken it off, so that's important to me.
Ghosts can't take off their trilbies, turns out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's using your ghost powers to solve your own murder, which is strange. You can also solve other crimes, which I've recently done.
Don't bother with that.
But well, no, I think you have to because otherwise it's just kind of slow. But you could possess just people in the environment. I think you can become a cat at one point. I've seen.
That seems like something a ghost would do.
Just take over things and try and solve your own murder. It's a really strange game.
Is it played from the third-person perspective? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a third-person game.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen some footage of this game when it came out.
But that is quite a cool concept, though. I think Torchwood. If anyone knows Torchwood,
Torchwood.
They had an episode like that in their first series where someone dies and he works out how he died.
Yeah, it is a really cool idea. I wonder if the game can carry what I'm going to guess is probably a 15-hour game off the back of it.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it's like a tight sort of Call of Duty length experience if it's got other things you can do in it as well. Like it's probably going to be probably 10, 15
Yeah, there's
hours,
like
you
a
reckon?
little bit of expanded stuff, but I think because it's still you're following a storyline. It's got areas. I've not played that much at all so far, but like you go, it's kind of an open environment, but you reach a point and then it goes enter apartments or enter alleyway, and you got another loading screen, which is a little bit.
I guess when did that game come out? Was it right near the end of the last generation?
A while
Was it
ago now. Yeah, it
2013?
was the end of Xbox 360 and etc.
Souls. Yeah, so it's an interesting concept for a video game. At least I would be excited. It came out in 2014, in fact, and it was cross-generational. So yeah, that's why I would think it came out in the last generation. Yeah, I'd be interested to know where that develops, if you like it, if you don't like it, because it's an interesting premise.
I'm going to keep at
Dom
it.
was saying.
No idea yet. There's just something in it that seems. I mean, that's how games start, isn't it? You've always got to give it a little bit before you properly get into it. So I want to give it a few more hours, but
Yeah,
so far I've no idea. It's
That's fair.
very confusing. A lot of being a ghost, walking through walls and stuff.
that sounds cool.
I
That
won't-
sounds alright. If it's got good environments and lots of walls to walk through, I bet that's quite fun.
Yeah.
Can you go spy on people? Not in
Yeah,
like
basically.
a creepy way.
Well, you
But, like,
possess
you
them
know.
and read their thoughts, which is a bit strange.
That is a bit creepy. Heard any good thoughts yet?
There was one. This is like the first side bit, so I don't think it counts as spoilers. But I possessed this old lady, and it was her thinking about how she murdered this young girl, which was odd,
That does sound really
and how
alarming.
much she hates her husband. So that I feel bad for that husband because he's not going to have a good time soon.
Yeah, I guess not. I'll tell you what else I've been playing actually, which is it's a web-based game. It's called Cookie Clicker.
Oh god.
So in Cookie Clicker, there's a cookie and you click it, and it makes a cookie, and you get a cookie, and then you can use that cookie to buy something that will click once every 10 seconds for you. And then, you know, the more of those you buy, the more they cost, so the more you have to click, and the more they click for you. And then you can make grannies, and they'll make a cookie every second, so you have to make more grannies. And then from grannies, you can get cookie farms, where you grow cookies.
Is there any skill required in this game?
You've got to be pretty good at clicking,
I don't
right?
know, mate. I can click pretty fast. I mean, it's from a genre of game called idle clickers, because the idea is you don't really play them. You just sort of click a button every now and then. But I mean, at this point, I've got a whole team of specially trained wizards summoning cookies into another dimension.
I saw a screenshot recently from Cookie Clicker, and it was because it's been around for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
So I don't know how long this guy had been playing it, but the screenshot was just, you know, it comes up with how many cookies you've clicked that second and how many you're clicking per second. And it was some number quadrillion per second.
What?
So they've been playing it quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up to I get something like 10 million cookies a second,
Oh man.
which is not quite a
Nowhere
quadrillion.
near.
But I think if you go to their wiki, which is saved here in my favourites already, which is pretty shameful, and you go to their list of achievements, it shows you the point up to which the game still recognises you doing well, which is bake 100 quintillion cookies per second.
Damn.
There's an achievement for that, so that's a lot of cookies per
It's
second.
not a small amount of cookies, yeah.
That's a big number.
Yeah, and so it's so the first achievement you get is bake one cookie, and then it's bake 1,000, 100,000, 1,000,000, and it continues like that all the way up to bake 100 decillion cookies, which is a million or something.
How many zeros is that?
More than I could even. Should we ask Google? I mean, this is great radio, isn't it? But
Because
yeah, so
10 to the power of 92 is more. It's a larger number than the amount of subatomic particles in the universe.
Not after we've cooked all these
But
clickies.
we've got all these cookies.
Cooked all these clickies? Clicked all these cookies, it won't be.
So,
I messed that up.
33 zeros.
Damn.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the game recognises your achievement up to that point, but I'm sure it keeps going further. But yeah, I mean, that sort of, I think, shows the kind of headspace we're all in. We're all working hard and stuff. None of us are really got money to go and do big things, so I'm messing around in browser games because I'm a lunatic. You're all playing free Xbox games like being ghosts. Your girlfriend broke up with you in NBA.
And I mean, I know that we're going to be talking about this a bit later, but Dom, do you want to just quickly tell us what you've been playing? over the
Yeah,
last
Dom,
week or
this
so?
is it. This is the moment of truth. What's up? What
I've
have you
been playing a game which I've been waiting months and months to come out. It's Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
So you've been playing both, right?
I may have bought both copies of the game.
So would it be fair to say that you quite like Pokemon?
It is one of my obsessions.
That's fair,
It's
man.
that and Doctor Who. So
Those are
I
pretty
think
reasonable.
you can safely call me
you
a
fit
nerd.
in here.
You're allowed here. That's fine.
What star did you go for?
Well, you got a choice of 3. You can go for Rowlet, who's the little owl,
Is he the
grass
one with
type.
the bow tie?
He evolves into someone with a bow tie.
Excellent. Okay, I'm down with that.
It's a.
Babies don't get bow ties. Don't be ridiculous, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad.
Then you've got Litten, who's he's a fire cat.
I hear he's lit.
He is lit.
Yep.
There are so many memes about it. And there's a Poplio.
Poplar's the best man.
One, isn't it?
No, he's the sea lion.
Is it sea lion?
Yeah.
Come on, Jack.
Yeah, he's like a dog, seal, sea lion thing.
Yeah.
He's well cute. I love him.
He's not getting much love from the internet.
Yeah,
the
I've
internet,
seen.
the internet. You can't trust them with anything.
I've
Have
seen
you
some
seen his-
hate for him.
Have you seen his final evolution?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
It's
as
not great.
cool as the upper two. Let's just leave it there. Like I've
To
been
be
looking
fair,
at
the
him.
final evolution of Litten is just a cat man. It's basically Tiger from last week. King from last week.
He
even.
looks. Yeah, but I mean, he's just some hench cat on 2 legs, and it looks amazing. Whereas I'm not really sure what to make of the final evolution of Poplio.
Whoa.
Doesn't-
Okay,
Oh,
I
man,
just
yeah.
got the final evolution of Poplar up here on my screen, and
What do you think of it?
It's unusual. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
see, it's
there's
not-
no way for us to. Maybe when we
Maybe don't
finally
Google
get-
that too much.
Maybe when we finally get all this stuff up onto YouTube, I can put in a picture of Poplar's final evolution, because it's definitely not the cute dog seal that it starts
No.
off as.
Just never evolve it. It's fine.
Do you want to describe it?
I don't think you can on radio.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it looks like the Little Mermaid crossed with some sort of ill dog.
Yeah, it's half fish, half Poplio, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they went the wrong way with. Okay,
This is the curse of fairy type. They bring in fairy type, and it's a synonym for girl type, I think. No little boys can choose that.
Oh yeah, because fairy type was introduced.
Hey,
wasn't
man.
it? So
Little boys can choose it if they
I'll
want.
tell you what,
They
Jack,
can.
that was pretty silly. Pokemon's a good thing to talk about. We've
Yep.
got some news to get into before we have our full Pokemon chat. But do you want to hit us with a quick track?
Yeah, here is the Poke Rap from the original TV series.
Hi there, I'm Arava, a Formula 1 YouTuber, and you're listening to URN Video Game Show.
And that was the Poke Rap. We're back. That was fun. I like the Poke Rap.
Yep.
And that was also a little spot from Arava.
Arava.
I
Yep.
really, really struggle to say his name every single time I butcher it, but there will be an interview conducted with him going up at some point soon. There might even be in this show, depending on how much we feel like treating you guys. He seems like a pretty safe guy.
Yeah,
He's giving us a shout out.
It was really, really down to earth. Yeah, we got an
Yeah.
interview with him. It's about 8 minutes long. So yeah, if we have
Yeah.
time at the end of the show today, we might sneak that one in. But
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna go on to news now, aren't we, Mark?
Yeah, we're going to go into news. So it's been a bit of a slow week for news. I think we had the November release season with loads and loads of games coming out, which always happens. And then running into Black Friday sales, all the news everywhere is just people going, ooh, look, more 4K TVs. But nothing actually, like, really worth talking about.
No.
But a few things are worth talking about. So one thing I want to talk about is itch.io, who do a bunch of games and other hosting and stuff. They're a reasonable website. They call it a good bundle, and it is a video game bundle, much like the Humble Bundle or the Indie Mega Bundle or something, where you pay as much as you want and then you get a certain number of games. But the thing with the good bundle is that 100% of the proceeds from it get split 50-50 between the American Civil Liberties Union and Planned Parenthood, and there are 151 games in the bundle. So I think if you pay $20, you get all of them, which amounts to, is it like £15 or something?
Yeah.
Is that about how much that comes
Yeah,
out?
yeah, probably
And,
about
you get,
that, yeah.
and there are some big. So I've got some of the things up here, and not only do you get to give some money to charity and feel really good about it, but you get 151 games from like slightly more high-profile indie games like Proteus and Gone Home, down to some really interesting but like quite quirky-looking experiences. There's one here called Cat Lateral Damage, which appears to be you play as a cat going around smashing up someone's house.
I've actually seen that. I've seen footage of that, and it looks absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Literally, you're right. You are a cat smashing up a house.
Yeah, and it looks like there's all lots of things, from little physics puzzlers up to story experiences. Like Gone Home is in there, which is a great video game. That's quite a high profile game. But What have we got? Monster Pub Trivia Night, which looks to be a ridiculous video game.
Some of the names on here as well are just weird. I mean, we were talking a bit about this one outside. Social Justice Warriors, which just sounds cool.
That looks to be an RPG where you play as a social justice warrior, which is, I mean, of course that exists, doesn't it? Like Earth Tongue, the Hungry Fungus. No idea what that is, but you paid 15 quid and you get it with 150 other games, and then that money goes to charity. So I'm probably going to do this after the show because it looks like, if nothing else, there are some things in her worth having a fiddle with.
Yeah, and civil liberties and Planned Parenthood both seem pretty pretty good things to give money to.
Yeah, I feel like I'm giving money to a good cause on that one. And then you get Strawberry Cubes. Who knows what that is? The Space Crew EP.
It's like we're playing Name Unknown already.
Yeah, I think it's well worth people looking up. So it's called A Good Bundle. You can get it from itch.io, which I've been calling Itch.io, which is good fun.
Yeah, it's the same website that agar.io is hosted on, right?
Yeah.
Which I think most listeners will know about because that was big for quite a while.
Yeah, agar.io was the one with the circles, and you eat the other circles to get bigger.
And you had like worm.io as well.
Yeah. Same thing, but with a worm in it.
Yeah, and I think it says here that if you get all the games by paying $20 or above, you are saving $451.
Damn.
According to their retail price. And you get to give those $20 to some charities that are worthwhile. So, that's worth having a look at, because who knows, maybe you'll find an experience you think is really, really cool. With that many games, there's
if you
bound
ever
to be...
actually play them all, because...
Yeah, there's bound to be some little indie games in there that you would never have played before.
You can spend hundreds of hours just putting off your coursework with that.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're all really short indie games, you're still going to get a ton of time out of that for 20 quid.
Yeah, 100%. So...
Or $20 even.
We've got another interesting bit of news. This is our last bit of news for the week, because like I said, it's been a slow news week. This happened yesterday, and it's an interesting one. No Man's Sky developers Hello Games have finally broken their long silence, and they plan to put out a substantial update to No Man's Sky at some point in the next week. So, Jack, as someone who owns a copy of No Man's Sky...
I don't. Actually.
Do you not? I thought you bought it on PC.
No, I did. I was going to, but then when I checked the Steam and then I saw all of the reviews that were all, just thumbed down and whatever, and everyone was really not happy with how it was. I didn't buy it because I didn't want to, just spend whatever it was, 40 quid on a game that is meant to be something that it essentially isn't. I know one of our housemates
do you want to tell us a little bit about what No Man's Sky is all about, and then we can talk about why it's interesting that Hello Games are finally saying stuff, and then we could even have a quick rundown of what they're actually saying.
So what No Man's Sky is, it's a open world planet explorer thing with 15 quintillion planets,
some outrageous number of
planets, and
the promises before the game come out was saying that every planet's going to be different, and it's all going to be you can interact with the alien life form on there and whatever, and you don't want to get yourself you perhaps don't want to get in trouble and stuff. But yeah, I mean it was a lot of promises made, saying that it's highly unlikely that you'd ever see someone else on the same planet as you, but if you did, you'd be able to see them and you'd be able to interact with them. And then the whole story came out about these two players that were on the exact same planet at the same time, but they couldn't see each other. There's a lot of hate about how all of the planets are just retextured in different colours, and the rocks are maybe moved around a bit, and there's different alien life forms on there, but they are all in essence the same sort of background and whatever. And it's promised a lot, and
would it be fair to say that it made the mistake of, instead of having 10 planets with hundreds of hours of interesting things to do on all of them, they had 15 quintillion planets with about 5 minutes worth of interesting content.
That's exactly what it is,
Which is a shame, because it ends up meaning you do a lot of busy work to get nowhere fast, and people seem pretty burned by it.
Well, literally the point of the game is essentially to keep playing the game at this point, isn't it? It's
everything
you do is to mean you can keep doing that stuff you're doing to keep doing it, which is...
it's
really no point.
It follows that sort of survival game, Rust, Minecraft-y kind of thing of collect resources to get better, to collect more resources, but even Minecraft has the Ender Dragon.
Yeah.
Minecraft has an end point where you can finish that game if you wanted to.
And Minecraft actually has multiplayer in it.
Yeah, whereas No Man's Sky, the big goal, the hugely hyped goal of getting to the centre of the galaxy, when people actually got there, you just get sent to a new galaxy. It just says, hey, well done, do it again. Which is, I don't know. But, so as Jack rightly put out, there are a lot of things that weren't in the game that they said were going to be in the game. And the developers Hello Games haven't really been saying much for a while now. They've declined to comment, their Twitter's gone dead. And yesterday, on their website, they put out a post that I'm going to read verbatim. It says, "Hello. This week, Hello Games will be releasing an update to No Man's Sky. We're calling it the Foundation Update because we have added the foundations of base building, and also because this is putting in place a foundation for things to come. Detailed patch notes will follow, and release will be soon. Coming from 5 years of intense development, immediately after No Man's Sky released, the team spent 6 weeks updating the game with 7 patches across both platforms. The last of these was patch 1.09 on September the 24th, which you can read about them all here. These fixed many of the most common or critical bugs and issues post-release." So yeah, when it came out, there was an issue with like frame rate performance on PC and a bunch of other stuff, so it was rough all over. In the 9 weeks since then, our small team, because it is only like 7 or 8 dudes, I think.
It's not many.
Has been hard at work on development, testing and certification for the Foundation update. It won't be our biggest update, but it is the start of something, so that's interesting as well. It won't be their biggest update. The discussion around No Man's Sky since release has been intense and dramatic. We have been quiet, but we are listening and focusing on improving the game that our team loves and feels so passionately about. Positive or negative feedback, you have been heard, and that will truly help to make this a better game for everyone. This update will be the first small step in a longer journey. We hope you can join us. Thank you, Hello Games." So, to translate, No Man's Sky has been released as an early access game. Is what that actually means.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, on Steam has a system whereby a developer can say, "Here, I've got a game, it's not done yet, I'm going to put it on Steam for early access, charge people as much as I want, they'll buy it, and then I'll be continually releasing updates for it, and it's not actually going to be finished." A lot of games have come out in early access. Daisy, the famous mod for Arma 2, where you fight zombies, was in early access for years, and was incredibly successful. So what people didn't realise about No Man's Sky, it seems, is that when it came out in August, it wasn't actually finished, it seems. Because what they're saying now is they're going to keep updating it, keep adding more and more and more substantial things into it to make it, I imagine, more in line with what they said it was going to be.
Although it seems quite hard to build all of the things that were meant to be into this base that they've currently got, because a lot of things they said they were going to have are in it, just not well implemented. So it's going to be quite hard to build on top of that.
Yeah, so there's no concrete release date for the Foundation update, but I wonder if this will do anything, if anybody will care.
The people who play it will care, I guess, but that tends to be the way with these sort of things, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Nobody
who's left
outside-
playing No Man's Sky?
Not many.
Like that, yeah, that game. The release of that game was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's the problem, and maybe that's why they kept silent as well, because they know that them talking so much before the release of it the first time is probably what caused a lot of the problems.
Probably thought they were better off just stay quiet, knuckle down, get some, and then be able to come out and say, "Here, we've got some things for you."
Yeah, well, this is it. I think that's part of the problem, is that they hyped it up so much before the release that there was so much expectation on this game being, possibly one of the best games ever, and then it sort of just failed. And I think that if they wouldn't have built it up as much, then it perhaps wouldn't have failed as much. I mean, it's still not a complete game at the moment, and I don't think no amount of hype would have changed that. But if they would have just played it down a bit and said, "Yeah, look, we've got this is in the works, it's going to be one of these things where we'll be releasing updates constantly for it, because we know it's a game that's some 15 quintillion planets. That's not going to be an easy game to make and make perfect."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get this game, but still.
It's weird, man. Like, I have been watching some old games coverage from December 2013, which was when No Man's Sky was announced, and it's kind of insane knowing what we know now since the release of that game and how badly that went, to see respected game developers who don't usually let themselves get caught up in the hype being like, "I actually can't stop thinking about this video game. There's a video game there's been announced, and it is the craziest thing I've ever seen." And to know now how that all plays out, it's a pretty stark contrast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I wonder how that's going to go. So we've got a lot of Pokemon to talk about. Do you know what we should do before we talk about Pokemon, Jack?
We should probably play the Pokemon theme song.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here it is.
And we're back. That was the unedited album version of the Pokemon theme with all those extra verses that nobody knows. It's pretty great. So, here in the studio, we love hearing from all our listeners, and you can tell us things if you send messages into 07903 545 252. You can send us tweets or even Facebooks at URN1350. And even if you go onto www.urn1350.net, you can send us in a web message.
Yes, you can, and that web text is completely free, so do feel free to get in touch if you have any opinions about what we've been discussing so far today.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love to hear from you guys. It's always good fun. So, that's it. This is the real thing. This is the hot news. Dom, tell us all about Pokemon. For a start, is it a good game?
It's, from what I've played so far, it is a very good game.
All right, cool. Let's move on.
That's all right. I'll just be out of studio. It's all good.
Yeah, mate. Tell us about Pokemon, man. It seems cool.
Well, I mean, it's one of my big obsessions in life. Played it. We were just saying it's been out since 1995.
Yeah.
Which is when a lot of us were born.
Yeah.
So we've kind of grown up with it. For those of you who don't know and live under a rock, Pokemon is kind of a big role-playing game. You travel through a region. You can catch little monsters and make them battle each other.
Pocket monsters, in fact.
It's called Pocket
Exactly
Monsters.
what they are. Yep.
That's what it's called in Japanese.
Yeah.
It's a very good game. You become friends with your little monsters. This sounds really sad now I'm saying it out loud, doesn't it?
No,
And you battle
it sounds
gyms,
great to me.
And you battle gyms to win a gym badge, and you get the final challenge at the end of the game, which is against the Elite Four, which are the very strong Pokemon trainers.
Yeah, they're the best in the region, aren't they?
They are the best in the region.
But it's all about growing up and going on an adventure, isn't it? Like, you start off at 11 years old, you're allowed to get your first Pokemon, and you go on an adventure and you destroy forces of evil and you become the best.
It's a large sense of freedom in the game.
You talk about growing up. I don't think Ash Ketchum's grown a single age. A single year throughout the entirety of the TV series. I think every single TV series that they release, they refer to him as being, 11, 12 years old, and he never grows old, which...
Have you heard some of the fan theories about how he stays that same age in the TV show?
The first episode, there's two main ones from the first episode. He sees the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh.
Yeah, who can grant a wish, can he not?
And he can grant a wish, and Ash may have wished to become a Pokemon, carry on being a Pokemon trainer forever. And then Ho-Oh grants his wish.
Yeah.
Well, there's the bleak version where he got struck by lightning and he's currently in a coma imagining all of this.
That one's pretty good. Because then you can finish Pokemon where, like, he wakes up and he's a grown-ass man with, like, a beard and long hair, and he has to then just try and survive in a world where he's no longer young and full of adventure. That would be a pretty bleak ending to Pokemon, wouldn't
Quite
it?
sad, yeah.
So yeah, what's Pokemon Sun and Moon? So all Pokemon games come out in pairs.
They do come out in pairs.
What's up with the new region in this one?
The new region, every region is based off a different area in the world. So Black and White was based off New York. The earlier games were based on different parts of Japan.
Yeah.
This one is based off Hawaii, and it's called the Alola region.
Of course it is.
Because it's basically Aloha,
Yeah.
and they had to be really original with it. But things normally their Pokemon games are quite formulaic.
Yeah. That's fair.
They're very structured. It's samey, but this time they've really shaken it up. To be fair, the dreaded HMs, which are
hidden machines,
which as a child I had no idea what that stood for. They're basically, you teach them to your Pokemon, and it lets them have overworld effects. So you can cut down trees, or you can surf on water. And normally these moves are terrible moves. Any sane battler would never have them on their Pokemon to battle with. So you would just have something called an HM slave, which is just a redundant Pokemon, such as Farfetch'd.
Yep.
Where you teach them all of these rubbish moves and
something
just never
that
use
can
them.
have like cut
like
and
match
fly
up as well.
and some other bits all at the same
Match-up's a pretty
time.
good one because you've got strength, rock smash,
Yeah.
and, like, rock climb in the later ones as well. And it's
Rock Smash
weird.
is a terrible move.
Yeah.
40 base power. Yep.
So yeah, what's changed about HMs in this new one?
Well, in HMs, there are no HMs at all. So you have a little device called a what's it called? Poke Gear, I think. It means you can summon up a random Pokemon. Well, not a random, but according to what is needed at the time, you can summon the Pokemon. So, such as Lapras, and you can surf on Lapras.
Okay.
Or if you want to fly somewhere, you call Charizard, and you can fly.
That sounds really smart.
And it's really good. the Pokemon, you see them as overworld Pokemon as well, which is always a lovely thing in Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's been cool since the first game when there were only 4 overworld sprites for Pokemon.
Yeah. And there was, what was it? It was Gen 2 where your Pokemon would walk behind you.
Yeah, it's that's what I've heard the most about this new generation, is that there are a bunch of quality of life improvements that should have happened a lot earlier. Things like how it now, if you use a move against a Pokemon that comes out super effective or not effective, next time you face that Pokemon, it will say on that move. So like it now remembers for you and things like that, which, like, I get some people have memorized all those type lists and stuff like that, but it seems like a really, really smart move to make that game infinitely more approachable.
It's good for the newer players,
definitely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. I have to say, if you're young and you don't really know the type matchups either, you'll end up using a not very effective move constantly on a Pokemon.
Yeah, especially sometimes as well, if it just like seems like a cool move. I know when I was first playing Pokemon, I just used the moves I thought were coolest, and it's like, why isn't this working?
Flamethrower every time.
It should be cool. Yeah, flamethrower against everything.
Thunderbolt every time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it seems like they've made some really smart moves in that.
And I mean, there's lots of different mechanics which they've kind of added in. The storyline is different as well. It's not you find the first gym, battle it, go to the next gym. There are no gyms either.
What?
Yeah, exactly. There are no gyms.
My mind is blown. I can't handle this.
How do you like earn badges then? Or is there no badges?
There's a different type of equivalent. So you come in to you've come in on a plane, which is cool, and you're new to the Alola region, and there are 4 islands in the Alola region, and you make your way through one island and do different challenges within that island. So they could be random things like taking pictures of Pokemon. Big shout out to Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm into that.
Taking pictures of Pokemon, battling different trainers, and at the end of it, there's something called a totem Pokemon, which is a big, beefed up, leveled up Pokemon, which you then have the right to fight at the end. And he can call upon random Pokemon in the middle of the battle to fight with him. So you could have 3 or 4 different Pokemon fighting you at once. And it's mad. It's mad. I played the demo, and that happened, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. Why am I fighting 2 Pokemon now?
Seems like a really, really interesting change to that, especially in a series that is as much loved as it is slammed for being formulaic. It's really cool that they're changing it up.
Yeah,
I think it was needed. The series was getting a tad dry. How to do it.
Did you play Black and White and Black and White 2?
I played bits of it. I played it a long time after it was released, though, because that was the age when I was thinking Pokemon may not be the coolest thing to play.
This is fair. It has had somewhat of a renaissance recently, hasn't it?
I've seen Sense again, and
jolly good.
So you're saying about Black and White too?
Did you play it? Because I mean, I think that was when that came out, people were like, "Are they just going to make another one of these?" Really?
That was when they were sort of starting to transition from the full-on top-down looking at the world into the sort of making it a bit more 3D. Obviously, they released with Nintendo 3DS and stuff, and now you can have it so it looks more 3D, and it's not just looking down at your character from above. You're sort of at an angle looking at your character, and it makes the world seem a lot more larger.
Do they do X and Y as well between? Yeah. So they're
and that was full 3D. But I think
so. Is Sun and Moon full 3D as well?
The whole game isn't 3D, but there are certain cutscenes which are 3D, or certain areas where you'll go into where you can have the 3D option for this. But it's X and Y was 3D, but you'd walk around and you'd still be able to only go on your single squares.
Oh, weird.
But this one you can literally roam wherever you want. There's no squares. There's no map.
Yeah, it seems like if you dropped off Pokemon a while back and you've got a 3DS and you're interested, or a 2DS even, and you're interested in playing some Pokemon, this seems like one that
how's the time to get back
might
in?
Might actually have changed it up in a way that will make it new and interesting and exciting.
It's almost unrecognisable from playing maybe Fire Red or Leaf Green.
That's really cool to hear. That's actually really pleasing. Jack, we've got some things to run through in the last few minutes of this show, but I think first we should have a hot Pokemon track.
This is another track off of the Pokemon 2BM Master album, which was the album that released, what was it, during after the first movie?
I think it was the first movie came out, and they put out to the number B, the letter O Master.
Yeah.
It's very early.
This one is the Team Rocket soundtrack. It is Double Trouble.
And that was Double Trouble from
What
the
a
Pokemon
track.
album. Oh,
What
it's
an
great.
amazing
You
song.
can't help but smile. It brings you back to sitting there mornings at the weekend watching Pokemon on the TV. It's so perfect. So we've got not long left on the show. So we're going to run through our favourite game, Hall of Game. We haven't got time for console wars. We haven't got time for name unknown. We've even made up a whole new game all about Pokemon that's hilarious, but we just don't have the time. Maybe we'll do that next week, who knows. But we do have to talk about Hall of Game. And this week, because we conducted our interview with an F1 YouTuber, pillar of the YouTube community, and he told us all about some of his favourite video game vehicles, we're going to talk about our favourite video game vehicles, aren't we?
Yeah, we are indeed. I've got a clip here if you want to hear what our interviewee Arava had to say about his favourite.
I'd love to.
His favourite video game vehicle. So here it is. This is Arava telling us all about his favourite video game vehicle. We do a thing each week where we induct a couple of members into our coveted Hall of Game, and this week we've decided, since we've got you on for the interview, we just wanted to know, what is your favourite video game vehicle that you would like to have inducted into our Hall of Game, and why?
Oof, that's a tough one. It'd probably have to be a car from one of my childhood games, I think, because honestly F1's only been around for about 5 years in my life. I think I'd have to probably say, looking back on what I really remember, probably the Aston Martin Vanquish from 007 Nightfire, and generally the 007 PS2 games, because back in the day 007 Nightfire was the stuff, on PS2. Everyone knew that game, everyone had that game, and there was one entire level where they had the Vanquish with, all the turrets, the guns, and all the gadgets, and I still remember that to this day. So I would have to say the Aston Martin Vanquish.
So yeah, that was Arava. Every single time, Arava. Oh, it's so terrible. I'm the worst person. He is great though. Get over to his YouTube channel. Look at some of his videos. He plays a lot of F1 games. He's a really interesting guy. We've got an interview going up with him, and his favourite vehicle is the Aston Martin Vanquish from 007 Nightfire.
Yeah, good one.
Great car, great
Brilliant.
game, huge
Yeah.
shout. I'm well
Not really
impressed you
much
got
to
for
say about
that.
that. It's brilliant.
So, Dylan, we all know what yours is going to be.
Oh, it's pretty
so
obvious, isn't it? Yeah.
just tell us, and then we'll move on.
It is the M12 Force Application Vehicle, otherwise known as the Warthog from Halo. So this vehicle is the car from Halo, essentially. If you've played it, you'll know what it is. It is literally just a car. Some of them have a gun on the back.
Oh, it's so good though, isn't it?
But
Like,
it is the
handles
best.
like nobody's business.
As the wiki says, while some may think it unwieldy, in the right hands it is fast and very well controlled and can turn on a dime.
Yeah, the Warthog's
with the use
cool.
of e-brake. And then
when you load up the
incredible
Warthog
vehicle.
with all your boys,
and you just go around
Yeah.
killing everyone, rolling your car and killing
I
yourself.
think the only thing that I couldn't quite grasp about the Warthog, I was fairly new to Halo, is the fact that you have to, go forward and back using the control sticks instead of using accelerate brake as
It's a
in
little
terms
bit
of,
odd.
like your triggers. That's the only thing that I sort of
To be fair, now,
took some time to get used to.
that's my favourite way of driving cars now, because that's where I learn. I
you
try
hate
and do
it.
it in real life, and it just doesn't work.
we got
Sit
a
there not
message
moving.
coming through from Lewis saying, "Love the show. Nightfire is amazing." Lewis, we love you, and Nightfire is amazing. You're right. It's a brilliant video game. The PC version's weird though. PC version's completely different to the PS2 and Xbox version.
Which is not the same game.
Yeah, it was made by Gearbox, and it was a port, so all the levels are the same, but like different objectives in the levels, and then like chunks have been cut out of it, so it's kind of rearranged. It's a bizarre video game. But Jack, what's your favourite video game vehicle?
Well, following in a similar vein to Dylan, he's inducted his second member from the Halo series into the Hall of Game. I'm going to induct my second member from the Call of Duty series, and it is of course the one and only AC-130, which I think is just brilliant. I was contemplating whether I was like, well, wait a minute, it's a vehicle. It's not a vehicle in the sense that it gets you from A to B quickly. It's a vehicle in the sense that it helps you blow up a lot of people on the floor when you're playing multiplayer on Call of Duty. I mean, it's in a couple of the story mode missions as well, of Modern Warfare 1, 2, and I believe 3. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's in Modern Warfare 1, which is the mission where Death from Above, you're trying to escort your team through this
Village, I guess.
Village, yeah. Sort of. You're trying to get them to the helicopters to pick them up, and you're essentially the gunner in this massive massive aircraft.
It was the Lockheed AC-130 Spectre, Spooky, Ghost Rider, or Stinger 2. I've got its Wikipedia page up here. It's got some great names.
Yeah, I mean, so it's got 3 guns on it. It's got the 105mm cannon, which, you know, you fire it, and then
that's a lot of millimeters.
The blast radius is insane when you're watching it. You know, you can blow up, I don't know how many dudes you can blow up with it, but I mean, it's pretty impressive. You also have a 40mm autocannon, which creates sort of smaller rockets, and then you've got the 25mm Gatling gun, which again is insane. I think it's you need to get 11 kills in the multiplayer of Modern Warfare 2 to unlock it.
That sounds about right.
It's a decent amount of kills.
Then you kill people with it. You wreck up.
When you get it, it lasts for about 40 seconds, and it was really one of the key things that would help you get to your tactical nuke, because obviously in Modern Warfare 2, if you got 25 kills, you got a tactical nuke, and this was something that would help you on your way to getting that, because when you play game modes like Domination and stuff, you can essentially spawn trap the other team, because if you've got 2 of the flags, they will always spawn at one of the flags, and you can just hail down rains of bullets on your enemy team, and you can rack up kills instantly. And I think
it's a proper power fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's absolutely amazing. And I think that just the sheer destruction and the destructive capability of the AC-130 is pretty much why
excited
it
to
should
see
be
how some of these vehicles
in the
end
Hall
up
of
on our
Game.
Hall of Game image. It's going to look pretty good.
And famously, famously or infamously, did you ever see they accidentally played the footage from Death from Above on a news channel? They thought they were showing off.
They did.
Yeah, they thought they were showing actual footage from war, and they played literally the level.
It was just a gameplay rip from that mission.
Yeah.
That's so. Oh.
We're running out of time. It's going to be quick. Dom, do you have a favourite vehicle for us?
I do indeed. It's a
got?
personal one. It's a speed machine. Okay. It is from the original Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And this is the car. When I played with my brother, he would always be the police car because he's older, so he got to choose. and I'd run away from him. My go-to car was the Dodge Viper SRT
from Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Yeah,
wicked.
And it only comes in red, and you have to get it with its Go Faster stripes,
of course,
because it goes faster with them.
Yeah, that is literally what that name means. Yeah,
It wasn't a very fast car. It's just I love the look of it, and I loved how it sounded when it would come up over the tannoy, and you'd hear the police radio going, "Police in pursuit of a red Dodge Viper SRT."
Yeah, I've just googled it, and it's a beautiful looking car. It's a really nice looking car.
Yeah,
it's a great choice.
Perfectly reasonable to choose it for the look over speed in that sort of game.
Definitely.
You want to look
6
at
years
something
old.
nice.
And you're being a criminal as well. Criminals always choose style over speed.
Exactly.
They're styling. Right.
What about you, Mark?
What about me? I picked an interesting car, actually. I kept trying to think about different vehicles in games that I've loved piloting, and it kept coming back to a really bizarre one. I'm going to say the name of it, and Dylan's going to get really excited, and then I'm going to reveal it's not actually what he thinks it is.
I'm going to embarrass myself now.
It is the Banshee.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not the Banshee from Halo. It is. I played a lot of GTA San Andreas.
Okay, yeah.
And in GTA San Andreas, the Banshee wasn't the fastest car, but it had the best speed to handling ratio, beautiful acceleration. It was modded on a Porsche, always came in convertible, always came with a racing stripe, had the best mods in the garage. And though, it wasn't the fastest, it was probably the best handling car in that entire game.
It's a brilliant
car. It was great. Like, I've played probably 100, 200 hours of GTA San Andreas. More than I feel comfortable admitting, if I'm honest. And it was always like, first thing you do, go find a Banshee. I think I still know where at least 2 of them just spawn in the world. They're incredible vehicles. The Banshee from San Andreas is just canes. I won most of the races in that game using the Banshee because it's got the best speed to handling ratio. Yeah. We've actually got a write-in as well from our erstwhile barely member of the radio, Henry, and he's sent in his vehicle of choice. And it's one that I didn't expect, but actually thinking about the games that he loves, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Henry, his vehicle of choice is the Griffin from WoW. That is World of Warcraft, Blizzard's MMORPG. And he's got a little paragraph here. And it says, "So you've been trekking across Azeroth for bleeding ages. You've slain them boars, and you've gathered those ale kegs. Finally, you've acquired a vanilla Griffin, which you couldn't really afford, except your brother lent you a ware guild of 1,000 gold. So off you flap on the wings of majesty, and for the first time experience proper, unadulterated flight travel." Brilliant. It's giving me goosebumps. The man can write, I'll tell you that. He can swing a phrase. So that was our 5 favourite vehicles from 5 different video games, and we've got a good choice, mix of real and ridiculous, and aircraft and wheeled, and some that are actually animals.
Hydrogen-powered cars.
They're the
The
best.
Warthog.
The Warthog hydrogen.
Yeah.
Good gosh. So actually, we're almost done. We've got 30 seconds left, so I'm going to quickly say, guys, it's been awesome. It's been a great week. Dom, it's been awesome having you on. Next week, coming out, is Final Fantasy 15. It's a huge JRPG. If you're into that thing, if you like buckles and spiky hair, go play it. It looks wicked. It's a road trip movie, but it's also a 100-hour Japanese video game.
With giant monsters, what more could you want?
Yeah, once again, Dom, it's been awesome having you on. Hopefully we get back on again to play a silly Pokemon game. Jack, Dylan, Mark, Henry's not here. It's been great. Hit me with some Pokemon. Let's go!